What's up, fellow nerds? Welcome to Not Your Status Quo's Joker trailer breakdown.
And remember, if you like what you see, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell to be notified of future videos.
And hey, you know what? While you're at it, share it with all your friends. They would love to see it.
Trailer starts with Arthur Fleck talking to a therapist. Does it help to talk to someone? Then you see Joaquin Phoenix go, it's kind of like a scowl to like a forced smile. You know, really wondering if this is a court-appointed therapist. And leads into a kind of his over saying, my mother always tells me to smile and put on a happy face. Then we kind of see him giving her a bath.
Strange.
Yeah.
Strange, but not completely unheard of.
Yeah, I mean,
care
if he lives with his mother, obviously she's very important to him. Now, the name Arthur Fleck, is this this is one of the few times where we actually have an actual given name for the Joker character, right?
Besides Jack Napier from the Burton Batman movies, yeah, he doesn't usually have a name.
And here's, well, I'll go to that. My theory about this is Arthur Fleck is a person who inspires the actual Joker. Like, this whole movie might be...
I've seen that rumor floating about. Yeah, I could see that.
A ruse, if you will.
You think that ties into like the whole DC 3 Jokers existed kind of idea?
I think, and we were talking about this earlier, I think maybe more than 3 Jokers exist.
That could very well be.
You know, it's not like a mantle where like somebody just grabs it when the one passes on or one is over with. It's just like something that happens. You know, this is the next Joker. This guy, they don't line up to do it.
Right,
they just end up doing it. That's a theory.
I like it. It's a good theory. Next scene, we see him writing down jokes. And what's important about this, at the bottom of the paper, he writes, the problem with having a mental illness is people expect you to behave as if you don't. And the writing gets kind of more and more deranged towards the bottom of the paper. And then once again, Arthur is kind of talking over. She told me I had a purpose to bring laughter and joy to the world.
And do you think this is what drives him to take the clown job, or do you think that was just...
I do. And I think it all kind of comes together as him becoming, because the Joker does think he's bringing laughter and joy to the world, you know, when he's using his Joker gas.
True, yeah.
And all that other stuff. I mean, once again, he thinks he's doing righteousness.
It's his own, in his own twisted mind. It's his way of making everybody smile and be happy, whether it's forced or not.
Yeah, like we were saying, all the villains, they have their own way of doing things. They all like to do. They all seem to want the same result to work out for them in some way, but you know, they all have their own ways of doing it, and this is his way of doing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then he's, spinning a sign with his clown outfit on. Everything must go. And he gets attacked. And then once again, we kind of hear that voiceover. Is it just me? As he's laying in the alley. Maybe crime alley.
Could be.
Or is it getting crazier out there?
And you know, this does add to the whole tragic villain idea, which I think is a good way to go about it, instead of just making him an outright evil villain, you know? Kind of ties also maybe into, now while it might not be that Joker necessarily like what you were saying, but you know, this could be this particular iteration of the Joker's one bad day.
Yeah, and he inspires future Jokers. You know, I do like that theory. It definitely works. You know, and then you see him kind of hunched over, which there's a couple times in this trailer where he's kind of hunched over like that.
Yeah.
Looks very creepy, you know, and it looks like he's working on something. And then Smile by Nat King Cole begins to play, which, with what's being shown on screen, is just...
It fits.
It definitely...
I've noticed that Joaquin, he really lost a lot of weight for this role. He looks more hunched, more gaunt, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. He doesn't look healthy.
No, and I think that's true. You know, we see him dancing with his mom in front of the television.
Yeah.
Looks like he's actually enjoying himself. You know, he's at a donut shop with Zazie Beetz, who's playing Sophie Drummond.
Good to see her. She's a good actress.
To my knowledge, that character does not exist in DC Comics that I know of. If you guys have heard, put it in the comments. You know, I couldn't find any connection. Then we see Arthur walking into Arkham State Hospital, probably Arkham Asylum at some point later on. Once again, you know, Dave made a good point before this. You know, Joaquin looks, you know, much older.
Oh yeah.
So once again, kind of leads into that multiple Joker thing. Not only maybe three at once, which I think they have in DC Comics now, but different people being the Joker throughout history.
Yeah, like because if this is an origin story, Batman would be so young, he'd be fighting Joker when Joker's 70. So there's got to be something else there, I think.
That would not be a fair fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Who wants to see that, right?
Oh.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Oh, great. Let me get the water.
We see he's in an elevator, like with a patient that's strapped down, that's kind of fighting to get away, and to him, it looks like it doesn't affect him at all. I think most people in an elevator
Really?
like that.
Okay.
He was just standing there, like.
Well,
To me, if you're looking at his eyes, I think it was starting to drive him nuts. And maybe that's what makes him crack. That's just a thought.
I assumed that this was just the state of things in Gotham in general. I just assumed most people were used to it because you see the name on the outside of the hospital that he's in.
Next scene, he's at a comedy club, and we actually get that first snippet of the Joker laugh, which I think is spot on.
You know what it looks like
liked
to me, too? It looks like it starts off as a fake laugh. Like, all right, everyone else is laughing. This is how you laugh. Like, maybe he's so socially inept that that's how he's going to learn, And then he's going to stand up and be a comedian because he wants to make people laugh. Thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's actually good. I hadn't thought about that.
Next we see him in the clown outfit, or the clown makeup, I should say, and he's using his fingers to pull a big grin, once again coming back to...
Trying to force a smile?
Yeah, his mom always said, put a smile on your face no matter what's going on, and I think we're going to see that be a heavy influence throughout this, and why he eventually snaps and starts doing what he's doing. Then we see him laughing on a train, and the other passengers want to know what's so funny. Once again, he gets beat up, which, this is kind of a running thing with the Joker. Joker does not mind getting beat up. He's always trying to push Batman to kill him and letting him beat him up to a pulp and see if he can push him over the edge.
I'm glad you brought that up. So, if you guys saw our Batman Hush review, which if you haven't, go ahead and go watch that. But there was a scene in Batman Hush where Batman was beating the Joker up pretty bad, but the Joker actually tried to stop him and say, "No, I don't want it to be like this. I want you to beat me up over something I actually did." So
yeah.
While he's always definitely trying to goad Batman into it, he wants it to be legit.
Interesting.
We see him running down the street holding a bag. This may be because the next scene, it looks like he's dancing in an interrogation room. It's a really hard word to say when you. But I say that because, and you're seeing it now, but he's like in front of like a two-way mirror, it looks like to me. So is he stealing the bag that we just see running down the street? He gets caught. Then he's in that interrogation room, and he's really starting to get pushed over the edge at this point. All the times getting beaten up, thinking he's got to smile to do the right thing. I think we get a lot from this trailer on why he does what he does, becoming the Joker. Then you hear that, not the voiceover, but the guy on TV who says, "Who would do something that cold-blooded? Someone that hides behind a mask."
Yeah, they were definitely talking about Batman, I think.
Well,
I don't think there is a Batman yet.
I don't think it's the Batman because next scene we see he's like, he throws his mask out, and then he's like acting like a clown behind a fence, and there's this young kid, and he puts his fingers in his mouth to start to make the smile. I think that might be Bruce Wayne.
I'm almost positive it is because I've heard before even this trailer dropped, when a lot of things were leaking out about this movie, they mentioned that there was going to be a Bruce Wayne, that they were looking for somebody to play his father and his mother and everything. Speaking of that, Bruce Wayne's father's name?
Thomas Wayne.
Thomas Wayne. So, Thomas Wayne in almost every iteration of Batman's stories, save for Flashpoint, has always been a good person. He's who sort of helped drive Bruce to also want to do good. But Thomas wanted to always use his money and his innovations in order to try and help Gotham. From what I've heard, and I don't know if this is how the movie is actually going to play out, but from what I've heard in the plot that has been leaked so far, they are flipping that on its head to where Thomas is supposed to be the root cause of all the problems, and the Joker is merely a symptom of the crime that is a part of Thomas. So what they're trying to do, from what I've heard, is he's basically just another CEO who takes advantage of the poor.
They're trying to sully the name of...
In this iteration, that's what I've heard. Yeah,
Once again, Dave's favorite thing, the multiverse. This is just one Earth.
it could
in the
very well be.
multiverse.
Yeah,
Then we hear that voiceover where, which I really like. I used to think that my life was a tragedy, but now I realize it's a comedy. Once again,
boy.
coming all back to you always got to smile, and now he's
fully embraced it.
Yep, he's definitely come full circle. Then you kind of see him backstage smoking. Looks like he's about to, because then you see Robert De Niro as Murray Franklin. Once again, not a character in the DC universe that I know of. If you guys know, put it in the comments. He's like on stage. Looks like he's either doing a comedy bit or as like a Johnny Carson type host. And the Joker's behind the curtain about ready to step out. Then we see a scene with riot kind of people, with people in Joker masks. So at this point, he's done something to start gathering some followers. So we know at some point, Joker's going to have some henchmen. He's running through a hospital. He gets hit by a car. He's dyeing his hair green. Totally looks like his metamorphosis into the Joker. And once again, and I like your theory more and more, because if this is someone who inspires a future Joker or the Joker, however you want to look at it, you know, his hair wasn't green because he fell in Ace Chemicals or did anything like that. He dyed it, but that's the inspiration, you know, for the real Joker.
Sloppily dyed it, even.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't that important to him, but he just wanted to do it anyway.
You know, then at the end we see him kind of walking down a hallway, full Joker getup. He's holding flowers, maybe taking it to his mother, who's maybe dead at this point, and he's not accepting it. Maybe that's the straw that breaks the camel's back.
I've been wondering what it's going to be, because I think there's going to be some sort of breaking point for him that's going to drive him to finally embracing his madness. And that could be it.
It definitely could be. We see him jumping down the stairs, kind of oddly in the rain, and then he's on the elevator with the door closing, and you hear Nat King Cole, "If You Just Smile," which once again goes to that whole. That's going to be the thing, you know, his mother kind of being the person, like, you know, he's writing it, you know, the problem with having a mental illness is everyone wants you to act like you don't have it.
Right.
And that's his mother saying, just smile, even though he's having all these negative feelings, depression, whatever he may have. You got to smile, Sonny.
Yeah.
And
it depends. You want other people to think you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's the type of message.
Or other people want you to act fine, and they don't understand why you're not. Yeah.
They don't want to bother with you. They just want you to be fine and just go away.
And that's why I really think we're going to see the Joker gas in this film. I think that's going to be part of it, because so much talk about smiling in this.
You think he's going to develop it?
Or yeah, very possibly. Maybe when he's hunched over working on something, it's the mechanism to deliver it.
He's been using Smilex.
Because he wants everyone to smile. And Gotham's obviously, you know, overrun with criminals at this point. You know, you don't want to walk down Crime Alley, you know, especially after you leave a movie.
I mean, why would you not want to walk
With your
down
young
Crime
child.
Alley? An alley that's literally named Crime Alley. You wouldn't want to walk down there, Keith?
No, I would. I definitely would. I
You
would
want to
think
be the only people down there, too.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't want nobody down there with you.
Let me wear my nicest pearls.
Damn.
So, what do you guys think? Are you excited for it?
I'm really excited for this because just when I saw the test screening and I saw how it ended with Joaquin Phoenix with that snarl that he had on his face with the Joker makeup, that won me over right there. Like, it didn't even have a line, it just had a song, and it just had him slowly morphing into the Joker, and really, that won me over. That by itself.
You know, I always worry about, because I can be very fanboyish, if they sort of change the character too much, it turns me off.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very worried about that at first, but I have come around, because all of these sort of things that they're showing us and seeing his descent into madness, you know, it looks like, for one, Joaquin Phoenix is a tremendous actor. So he's going to be able to pull this off. I mean, you can even see in that first scene where he's trying to force that smile talking to the therapist. That's some extreme acting. You know, that's masterclass, and I just really enjoy it. Everything they've shown, everything I've heard, I think I will really love it. Even if they do some changes to the Batman mythos, it's a different multiverse, and hopefully it doesn't, you know, spoil me. But, you know, come back to our at the theater
Right,
review of it.
right.
I may be shaking my
Yeah.
fist going, how could you?
You know, so I did used to be like you, and I still am in some aspects, but when it comes to some long-running superhero comics or shows or whatever, you got to remember that a lot of these were products of the 40s, you know, and they've changed a lot over the years. Obviously, Batman no longer carries a gun like he did in his original couple of comics, where he was just a detective walking around solving crimes and shooting people. And obviously, he doesn't have the camp of the 60s and 70s anymore. So
No, very true.
it has changed a lot. You know, so and I'm sure there have been different variations of fanboys. So I've learned to just kind of accept it a little bit more when they overly change it to the point where Superman is laser murdering everybody.
Well, when they change the core of the character,
Yeah,
that's yes.
Yeah.
I
about you, Dave?
personally, I think I'm gonna go into it not expecting much.
Okay.
I'm not gonna raise my like you said, I'm very like traditional about the way the the characters have been handled in a lot of series, and when I like the origin story, and it seems like cemented, like the Batman's origin story, everybody knows it.
Batman's, yeah.
And
The
the
Joker's
Joker's
not
never
so
really
much.
had one.
Yeah.
And that's what I've liked about it. So, but if this is the Joker, and it's not like the theory that I had
I
earlier.
hope not.
If my theory is correct, I will like this movie a lot more. If it's not, then
I'm really hoping your theory is correct.
it's really going to shake. So I'm not going to go into expecting a lot, and hopefully it'll surprise me.
At the end of this movie, if we see Jared Leto
Oh.
being inspired by this,
DC, I know you're watching us. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
one of the things too, and I'm kind of with Dave. I've always been, this is kind of their thing. Don't mess with it. But one of the things I was I thought about with this is Wolverine. For the longest time, he had no backstory, no origin. But when they finally did, they did it well, and it really helped the character and make they did a great job of coming up with this. As long as they do that for this, I'll be okay with it. But I think I'm fully on board with Dave's vision. I think that'd be tremendous
Absolutely,
if this
me too.
guy does something in Gotham that inspires the future Joker, and then they could weave that into a future movie, or it's just standalone. I think they could do a lot of things.
Well, I'm also looking forward to when the movie finally comes out. I just want to know if Mark Hamill gives it his seal of approval. Him being the one true Joker.
What about Heath?
Heath. I would rather see Heath play it than Jared Leto right now. In this
Everybody.
current condition.
Everybody would rather see him.